Hello guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. In our last tutorial, I taught you how to draft this beautiful scallop queen and neckline. And in today's tutorial, I'll be teaching you how to cut and join all the pieces together. So if this is what you're looking for, stay tuned and don't forget to like, share and subscribe to my YouTube channel. And press the notification button so that each time I post a new video, you'll be the first to get notified. So let's get into the video. So the first thing I did in order to give my fabric a firmer look was to add stay to my fabric and iron it. And after ironing stay to my fabric, I went ahead to fold my fabric into two equal parts, and then I placed my pattern on each part of the paper at regular intervals, as you can see on the fabric. And then what you go ahead to do right now is to mark half an inch on each part of your fabric for your sewing allowance. I repeat, add half an inch on each part of your fabric. Like after the pattern, you add half an inch on every side. After adding my 0.5 inch on every part of my fabric, I went ahead to cut the fabric all around. Take note that for everything you do on your main fabric, you do the same on your lining as well. So after cutting my fabric, I went ahead to just place my fabric right on the lining and cut everything together. Both the lining and the main piece are together. Take note that on the side front and on the side back over there, I went ahead to add 1.5 inch, but on each and every side I added half inch. Only on the side front and the side back that I added 1.5 inch, as you can see on my fabric. So the first thing I did over there, in order to join my fabric together, I took my center front and my side front, and then I went ahead to unpin everything, and then I joined everything together. I went ahead to join everything together over there, as you can see what I'm doing. So the first thing I did was I went ahead to join the main fabric for the side front and the center front together. Make sure the right sides are facing each other, as you can see on the fabric. And then I also did the same thing on the lining. As you can see, I went to my sewing machine and I joined the pieces together. So after joining, I had what you can see on the video over there, my front half length completed and my back half length. Also, I took in the darts for the back half length over there, both on the fabric and on the lining, as you can see. And then I went ahead to iron everything, both the front and the back. And after ironing, I have what you can see. Take note that I didn't pat any bust and I didn't do anything on my bust. I just went ahead to join everything together because I don't want the bust fuller. That's why I didn't pat anything over there. And then I went ahead to join both my fabric and my lining together, both for the front and for the back piece. Then after joining everything on my machine, I went ahead to bring back everything on the table. And what I did over there was notch the neckline so as to bring out everything when I turned my neckline. I notched the neckline on every curvy point so that everything comes out when I turn my neckline. And after doing that, I went ahead to turn everything to the right side. And after turning everything, I went ahead to my ironing table. I turned both the front and the back part. I turned every side and I notched every curvy side over there, and then I turned everything out, making sure that every inch they are out so that it brings that shape. And after that, I went ahead to the ironing table and I ironed everything, and then I came back. That's it, as you can see over there. So after that, I went ahead to place my front piece and my back piece together, making sure they are lying at right intervals, making sure they are together and perfect. And then what I did next was to join my fabric, my front half length to my back half length. And how you do that, you take the shoulder for both the front half length and your back half length, and then you join them together, as you can see over there. And then I went ahead, I placed my lining on my lining part, my lining for the front and my lining for the back, and then I joined them together, as you can see, so as to avoid any rough edges on the outside. And then after joining, that was what I have over there, and you can see that my half length was already coming together. After that, I went ahead to cut my sleeve off the camera. Guys, if you want a basic sleeve pattern, a tutorial on the basic sleeve pattern, do well to write interested in the comment section so that I can make the video available for you. And then after that, I went on to my half length and I joined my sleeve to my half length over there. As you can see, I went ahead to notch the middle part of my sleeve and then join it onto my half length, and then everything was coming together. So guys, after that we were almost done with our half length, and then I kept that aside and I went ahead to go with my down part over there. So for the down part, we'll be doing something like the one you can see on the top left corner over there. So the first thing I did with my lining, that's my lining fabric, was to fold my lining into two for the front part, and then I went ahead to measure my waistline, my waist circumference. So my waist circumference divided by 4, and then I added extra 2 inches. Then I came down by my hip line, which was 10 inches, and then I went ahead to measure my hip circumference divided by 4 as well, plus extra 2 inches, and then I went ahead to measure my full length, the full length of the gown. Take note that you remove your half length from the full length of the gown first. Remove your half length from the full length of the gown, and then you go ahead to mark your full length. My half length was 17 inches, so I went ahead to remove 17 inches over there, and then I marked my full length of my gown. And then after marking that, I went ahead to connect my line, as you can see over there. After connecting my line, what I did at the hemline was to mark my total hip circumference divided by 4, total hip circumference divided by 4, plus extra 5 inches and then 2 inches for my ease. I repeat, total my hip circumference divided by 4 plus 5 inches and then plus 2 inches for my ease, as you can see over there. Then after that, what I did was that I went ahead to connect from my hemming line to my hip line, and then from my hip line to my waistline. Guys, make sure that you have a lot of ease on your gown, on your lining, so as to, because it's a free gown, it's a maxi dress, it's not a tight fitting dress. And then after connecting that, I had to make sure that my hip had a little bit of ease over there, but my waist will be my natural waist measurement, but my hip should be at least bigger than my normal hip measurement. Then after doing that, what I went ahead to do was to cut my front lining. As you can see over there, I went ahead to cut my front lining. And after cutting my lining over there, what I did next was go ahead to fold my fabric into 2 equal pieces again, and then marked 1.5 inch at the beginning of my fabric. That's for my zipper allowance. And then I went ahead to take my front piece and then placed it directly on the back piece, and from that zipper point, take note that your zipper allowance should be there first before you place your front part on your back part. Then after placing that, what I went ahead to do now was to cut out the back piece. Guys, take note that I'll be cutting my ruffles off the camera. You can make your ruffles any length of your choice. You can either make them 8 inches, 10 inches, depending on how long you want them to be. So what I did off the camera was that I went and I cut my ruffles 8 inches. I wanted the length of my ruffles to be 8 inches over there. And then after cutting my ruffles, I went ahead to my fabric and I joined the front and the back piece together, leaving the zipper part open. I joined everything together, and what I did next was that I marked 4 inches till the full length on every part. I marked 4 inches on every part over there. After marking my 4 inches from the starting line, I marked 4 inches till the end of my fabric, because my ruffles were 8 inches. My ruffle was 8 inches, and I want it to fall on top of each other. Guys, I don't know if you understand what I'm talking about, but what if you don't understand, what you can do is rewind the video and watch it again. And if there's anything you don't understand, I'll be in the comment section. Just ask your question in the comment section, and I'll be right there to answer you. So guys, I won't be starting my ruffles exactly from my starting point. What I did there was that I left a little part of my fabric over there. I left a little part to pleat that later, and I take note I didn't pleat on the zipper part. I left the zipper part like that, and I left a little bit of fabric from my Ankara fabric, and I left a little bit of fabric from my Ankara fabric. Guys, you can either make your ruffles by doing the pleating method, or the gathering method. What I did there was the pleating method. I went ahead to leave half part of my Ankara over there, and I didn't start on my zipper line. As you can see what I'm doing on the machine over there, I started my pleats from the zipper part. I skipped the zipper part and I started my 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 stitches from the zipper part over there, as you can see, and then I pleated everything together. Just watch what I'm doing carefully. You can equally use your ruffles in order to get your pleats, but I decided to use the pleats because I knew it was much more faster. So after pleating all my ruffles on those 4 inches that I marked, I had something like what you can see over here. Yeah, just like that. And then you can see that my ruffles were already coming out. After pleating all my ruffles together, what I did next was to go to I took back my half length and I measured the waist circumference over there, and then I marked my allowance, and then I went ahead to join them on the machine so that's to get my waist circumference, my bust circumference, and my round sleeve measurement. And after that, I had my half length joined together with everything intact. As you can see, it's looking so beautiful. So what I have there is a bell sleeve, guys. If you want a tutorial for your bell sleeve, just write interested on the comment section, and then I'll make a tutorial available for you. And after that, I went ahead to measure my round waist circumference over there. And after measuring my round waist circumference for the half length, I went down also for my ruffle part, and I also measured my round waist measurement, making sure that both the half length and the down part were equal. So after measuring both my half length and my down part, what I went ahead to do was to notch the middle part, and then I went to the sewing machine and I joined everything together, as you can see me demonstrating over there. So after joining all of them together, I had something like what you can see over there. My gown was almost ready over here. Looking beautiful and elegant already. So we had that over here. I was just going ahead to make sure that everything was intact and all my measurements were properly taken. So after all that, what I went ahead to do was to input my zipper off camera, and then my gown was ready and looking all beautiful. I went ahead to input my zipper part and then joined the back together, and then our gown was ready. So guys, if you've watched this video up to this point, it means you definitely enjoyed my video. So what are you waiting for? Please go ahead and like this video and give this video a thumbs up and press the notification button so that each time I upload a new video, you'll be the first to get notified. Thanks for watching and see you in my next video. Bye.